and Dogs.
Travelogues with Bob and Dogs. Travelogues with Bob and Dogs. Travelogues with Bob and Dogs. Travelogues with Bob and Dogs.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to another exciting episode of Travelogues with Bob and Dogs, a series of videos about an epic road trip. Well, the road trip has been put off a little bit because we've got issues with the Airstream. I won't bore you with the details, but if you own an Interstate 19, I have the low chassis battery voltage issue and the solar panel issue. And we really can't go anywhere until we get those fixed. So I thought I would take this time to help you get a little more acquainted with the real stars of the show, Darla and Bruno. It all started in 2019. That was a tough year for me and my wife Laura. We lost both our dogs and both our cats all in 1 year. So we decided, since we had nobody to take care of, that we would take a little trip. So we went through the Carolinas and Georgia to Florida, and like she did on every vacation we ever took, Laura broke a tooth. So immediately when we got home, she went to Boston to our dentist, our beloved dentist we've been seeing for 20 years. And I was in the house alone. So I thought, we had discussed it while we were on our trip, it's time to start thinking about getting another dog. So I decided to get the process going. I went on to Pet Finder, where I found this guy 1 mile away. And I said, that's impossible. The nearest rescue shelter is 20 miles away. No, there's one in Bethel, Fairy Tales Rescue. And they had Bruno. And I looked at Bruno and said, wow, my dogs have all been 60, 70 pounds. They're all big dogs. This one looks to be 40, 50 pounds. That's perfect. A slightly medium-sized dog. I love that idea. So I filled out there's 3 ways to acquire a dog. You can buy a puppy, which you pay your money, you go home with a dog. Or you can go to the local dog pound, animal shelter, where you can get both kinds of dogs, pit bulls and chihuahuas. Or you can adopt a rescue. If you choose to go the adopt a rescue route, you have to fill out a 6-page mortgage application and then get approved by a committee. It's really out of control. So I went online and I filled out the 6-page mortgage application. Do you own your house? How many hours during the day is the dog going to be alone? And clicked send. And 5 minutes later, the phone rang. It was Allie, and she was a tech at the local animal hospital when my poor dog Jessie was dying. And she said to me, you did everything for that dog. You are so approved. So we arranged to have a meet and greet, and so she could inspect my house and make sure it was worthy of Bruno, and also to make sure we all got along. The date and time to meet Bruno arrived, and this thing walked into my house. 95 pounds of love. Everything went swimmingly. Allie left with her mom, lovely woman, and things were going really well. It was time to go to bed. I decided to take Bruno for one last trip outdoors. It was February. The ground was very icy. And I went out to our street. My feet went out from under me. I lost the leash, and on my way down, I booted Bruno in the ass, and he just took off. So I called Allie. Allie said, I'll be right there. She came. She said, find me something that squeaks. And I found her. We had bought Bruno a couple of squeaky toys. I gave her a squeaky toy, dinosaur. We still have the corpse of that thing somewhere. And she went up the road and came back down with Bruno. And we've been together literally every minute since. Darla, on the other hand, we got from Save a Dog in Sudbury, Massachusetts. That's where we got Jessie and Otis. And they turned out to be pretty good dogs. So we saw that they had a litter of puppies come in from Louisiana. Lab hound mixes. Good one. And they were all named after our gang kids, the Little Rascals. So there was a Spanky, an Alfalfa, there was Darla, there was Porky. Oddly, there wasn't a Buckwheat. So we brought Darla home. She immediately started chewing on Bruno. We were initially afraid that Bruno was going to kill Darla because she's just impossible. But I've actually come closer than Bruno ever has. He's got just too big a heart. We spend all of our time together, and we've been on a ton of adventures ever since, and we're heading out as soon as the van is fixed. Thanks for watching. Join us next time on Travelogues with Bob and Dogs.
Travelogues with Bob and Dogs.